Hi, and welcome to the Ian Davidson Dubai Diaries. Today I am sitting on the hot seat, or the green seat as we might want to call it, to have a chat with our Ian here. Ian is what I would call a bit of a property mogul, someone who's involved in real estate. But as well as that, Ian has a very interesting life. My name's Andy. I am also in real estate, and I'm a DJ. I do podcasts. I have my own podcast.
Man of varied talents.
Well, some call me Andrew Jack of all trades. But this is not about me. This is about you. So I think it'll be really interesting to learn a little bit about your life, who you are, because this is about to be a series of podcasts. Not only that, we will talk about it a little bit later on. You're about to open a property academy, a real estate academy in Dubai, which I think is really exciting for Dubai and Dubai brokers. But I think what we will do first of all is let's introduce you to the listeners. So, Ian, first of all, tell us who you are, where you come from, a little bit about your life.
That's lovely, Andy. And thank you for that introduction. First of all, for my friends and family and people that will hopefully get to know me, Andy has become a friend. He's from Scotland, our family is Scottish too. We're from Aberdeen. But the family moved down to England when we were not born, which was not interesting for me and my brother because we wanted to be Scotland and play for Scotland. As you
Did you have the Scotland strips?
Yes, of course. And as soon as we hear the bagpipes, we're always in tears. But my earlier years were in Derbyshire, England, and went to Nottingham University. And parents were very supportive, a great family network, and got 2 degrees in property, as you mentioned. One was the Bachelor of Science in Urban Estate Surveying at Nottingham University, which is one of the foremost in England, along with Reading. And my personal tutor, worth saying, was a guy called David Richmond, who was one of the first authors of Modern Methods of Valuation.
Oh, okay.
It's put me in good stead for future life. So-called expert, if anybody can be an expert. And I think started me off on my path to try and help people. And you probably know, Andy, I've now established a successful operation in London particularly. Where I've got a home too, in Trafalgar Square. But from humble beginnings in Ilkeston, Derbyshire. Ilkeston, yes. Mining town.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Became head boy of a Catholic school as a Protestant.
Oh, did you?
So what a great start that was, mixing with the nuns and the priests. But anyway, I then... was very determined as a young guy to be good at what I did, which was sales. My personality, I was blessed, quite a spiritual person. I was blessed to have a good personality. And, my brother often says, you tell a good story. And we always say, Scottish
I can vouch for that.
You don't finish a story without a good ending. So change the ending slightly. It's going to get a laugh. So, I think we've all done that.
So we always a bit of a comedian, were you?
Yes. And if it wasn't right, first time round, you'd probably do a new version the second time. So, of course, long-established friends and family would eventually say, it's a great story, but that's not the one you told me before.
And interestingly enough, since I've met you, I've almost thought of you as a cheeky chappy. So I can imagine you like that through school. And what was your university days like?
University days, I tried to keep my head down. I wouldn't say I was the brightest in school. I had to work hard at it. And claim to fame was I used to get up at 4:00 in the morning to study. And I remember leaving school at 16 and walking into the house and mum saying, good Scottish lady, of course, she was a sister at the hospital, you're working tomorrow morning, lad. And of course, I thought I'd got 6 weeks holiday. But of course, she'd got me on a Barrett's Wimpy site. Stacking bricks. So of course, I was introduced to the property industry
so from the early days.
Brother then went into architecture and a builder. And I thought, well, he's a good drawer. I maybe should do something with property. And I fell into estate agency work. My head teacher set up a great interview for me with a guy called Bill Twells in Ilkeston. And he was looked after by my mother in the town. And he eventually gave me the job. And after the interview, I walked out and said, well, will I hear from you, Mr. Twells? And his answer was, well, you've got the job, lad. It's whether you want it or not.
Right.
And I found that my sister-in-law often says, you fall out a window, you end up on your feet.
Yeah.
So life's been a bit like that.
Yeah.
So moving on quickly, I went to the university. As I've told you, I became a shareholder with the biggest private estate agency in the East Midlands.
Okay.
A guy called Jim Beardsley looked after me. And
how did that come about?
Basically, I was an apprentice surveyor, and I just wrote off for a couple of jobs. I thought, go for the two biggest estate agents in the East Midlands. Got interviews for them both, got jobs offered.
Oh.
But Jim Beardsley had 68 officers and the other guy had about 40. So I thought, I'll go with the guy with 68. Turned out he quite liked me and had me working in his head office, his fleet office. And then I was doing things like commercials for Radio Trent, which was big in those days, a guy called David Lloyd. I would do a bit of TV work as well. And my boss used to say, well, you're good at this sort of thing, lad, you should do it. But obviously later in my story, I'll tell you about being offered a chat show host in Las Vegas, but never took it for various reasons. But there we are now in Dubai.
So we're not even 5 minutes in and we've already had such an interesting life. But yeah.
Shall we stop?
Shall we stop? I know. I can't wait to hear the rest
We're not
now.
even started. I mean, it's, to remember what went off. I think when you remember things that are real, then you don't need such a good memory because it comes back to you through the years. And people and songs create the image, don't they? But eventually, this company I went to, Beardsley Theobald's, a lot of the people are still friends there. They sold out to the Halifax Bank.
All right, okay.
And I was at that time, again, Jack the Lad type of guy. And they made me the junior board member for Halifax New Homes for the Midlands and Northern Ireland. Sweet age of 27, shareholding.
That's really young.
I got my first Porsche, a nice blue convertible Porsche. I built a swimming pool in a little cottage. I thought I'd won the lottery. You know?
I think at that age as well, at 27,
you could have gone off the rails.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say.
And although I go off the rails in terms of what you think I'm going to end up doing, I found that it's been good because I'm on rails.
Yeah.
Then. So where did that take me? Well, I didn't like the Halifax at all. And why I didn't like them, again, a twist of the story. It was a great job, great salary. I got a Porsche privately bought, and I also had a BMW given to me by the Halifax.
Yeah.
Salary, telephone, paid, everything.
Did you have one of those big, massive...
But I became a number.
What year was this in, roughly?
This would be in the late 1990s.
Right, okay.
So I was basically...
That was after the big, massive telephones.
It was. Jack the Lad, and all of a sudden, what's next, I suppose. So guess what was next? Well, I decided that I was going to leave the Halifax.
Okay.
I didn't like becoming a number. I was told by one of the board members, a senior board member, Ian, stop all this, expansion into how you sell land and how you give land to builders and how you get things built. I just want you to sell mortgages. The Halifax were a big mortgage company.
Yeah.
But I said, no, this is not for me and I would like to leave. Well, they tried to get me to stay with them for 2 years as no competitor. But I said, no, I wanted to go out and I was prepared not to work in the same locations, but go to towns. So they were in the big cities in those days, Leicester, Nottingham, Derby. And I went back to Ilkeston and set up my first independent shop on Bath Street.
Okay.
And
what age was that at?
It would be around 30 now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I then have 3 shops.
Right, okay.
So I had Mansfield, I had also Ilkeston, and at the time I was trying to do Derby, but it wasn't quite working.
Did it feel like a bit of a whirlwind at the time? Because that's a lot to happen. And
so it certainly did. And I tell you what, when you're on your own as well without partners in terms of work, I got friends and partnerships, but you've got to make decisions on your own in life.
Yeah.
And I find this being in Dubai now, you push yourself into life, don't you? You say, well, you're on your own now. You either sink or swim. So at that point, would you believe, I walked away and went to Los Angeles.
Now, you've told me a little bit about this. I'm excited about this era because this is a completely different turn altogether, isn't it?
To me, I was a celebrity number 2, I call it. because although I wasn't famous, I was hanging around with famous people.
Yeah. But what drove you to go there? What made that change in your head? Was it?
I looked quite good in the days. You probably download some of the pictures, but I was, Chippendale type style person. So I had a great time. I was also a personal trainer.
Yeah.
I loved my bodybuilding in the days. I was a keen tennis player, a little bit of a golf player. But at the same time, I like the lights of Los Angeles. You've seen it on the movies. We've all seen it on TV. And, when I see foreign friends these days, a lot of them were taught English by watching movies and TV, weren't they?
Absolutely.
So I went on my own. A glamour girl called Sam asked me, she was a page 3 girl. She says, I think you should come out to Los Angeles with me and have some fun. So would you believe the property, the RICS, was all on hold.
Yeah.
I go out, I got upgraded. I'd got long hair at the time. You maybe show them some of the pictures, but I got long hair. And the girls on the British Airways flights thought I was a rock star. I wasn't, but I didn't say anything. Got upgraded to first class, champagne the whole way. Brilliant. Got there, didn't know what to do. Yeah. Didn't know what to do at all.
That cheeky chappy never leaves you.
Yes, and of course, went to a few Hollywood parties. Went to Santa Monica Boulevard, went to the Viper Club, went to the place where people like Johnny Depp worked, got let in by Johnny Depp into his Viper Club with Sam on my arm. It was great times. I mean, I can't tell all the stories, of course.
Yeah.
But it was then that I went back into my bodybuilding and I thought, how am I going to earn money? I'm not in property anymore.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, you can do what you want. If you look the part, unfortunately,
people will believe
God
you.
bless me.
Yeah.
I could be who I wanted to be. I looked like one or two of the up-and-coming stars of the day. Apparently, I looked like Daniel Day-Lewis, according to some air terminal people in San Diego. They actually stopped the conveyor belt saying, Daniel Day-Lewis is here,
Yeah.
coming up for autographs. The whole conveyor belt stops.
Yeah.
And what did I sign it as? Daniel Day-Lewis.
Why not?
Because what else are you going to do? There's more problem saying you weren't Daniel Day-Lewis than you were.
Yeah.
So anyway, I find myself in Venice Beach. The story's moved on now, hasn't it? Venice Beach, where the famous Arnold Schwarzenegger was from, and all the Hollywood stars, and writing off, they're there.
Yeah.
And
I've actually been to LA myself.
Yeah.
I know the vibe of it. Like you said, for me, even going there, you're just captivated by it. You're captivated by everything that you've seen on TV. The Hollywood lifestyle. You see it all around.
The energy
you.
is amazing.
The energy, it's a different energy though, because actually,
and speaking English or Scottish as you do, that's of interest.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, soon, and you know what it's like when you go there. You speak someone, and somebody will say to you, I have my auntie's Scottish, or my auntie's English, or I'm a third English, and I'm a third Scottish. It's always it's a great conversation starter with people, isn't it?
I mean, the days of getting there are a bit of a blur now, but I mean, a bit like the Dubai story. You get in temporary accommodation, don't you, wherever you go.
I was going to ask you, when you first got over there, what was that situation like? Did you find somewhere quite quickly? Did you have enough money to manage?
Remember, but it was definitely a house share.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, in Hollywood, where I was, a lot of famous stars were there.
Yeah.
I couldn't name drop, but I will later. But they were there and looking for work, because it doesn't mean, say, a famous actor is always in work.
Yeah.
So they used to share properties.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I think I moved into basically like a bedsit, would call it in England, which was a room.
Yeah, a lot of actors have that story, that what they were doing is they were couch surfing or whatever.
So that's why I called me like celebrity number 2. I wasn't competing at the time with anybody to go into the movies. I was just there.
Yeah.
And doors were starting to open.
Yeah.
So where did I go? So I thought, well, what can I do to earn money, I suppose? And, if you could get $100 a day, you'd survive. It was survival money. So I did some modeling out there, TV work, things like Dr. Pepper, Budweiser. A few agencies used to come for you for work, or promotion, opening clubs, or, selling anything really. One of the funny stories I've got about that, I go to casting, and a beautiful girl sitting behind the counter, she must have been 19, and she's saying, well, we would like you to go for a Budweiser commercial because you've got the hair and you're going to be on a Harley Davidson, for example. But, we've got to make sure that of the age group, and of course I was always arguing I was older or younger than I should be.
Yeah.
It's typical.
Depending on the casting.
Everybody does that now. Well, I hope they do. I do. And anyway, it suits the part and suits the story. And anyway, I'd got to be a certain age, of course, and I was lying at the time and said I was a bit younger than I was. And she said, Ian, I'm going to ask you the last time because I really want you to get the job. And it turned out that the American market, if you drink a Budweiser, need to know that you know why you're drinking a Budweiser.
Right, okay.
If you're a 19-year-old guy, you don't know what you're on, a bit like today. So I did those sort of jobs, and then I found myself walking into Gold's Gym, the famous Gold's Gym in Venice, and just struck by celebrity and fame and the energy. All you want to do is stand there.
I mean, that is the famous gym, isn't it?
Worldwide. I mean, Joe Gold, in fact, I met, and Gold's is Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, all over. So I thought, well, I've arrived, arrived to do what? I don't really know. But I'd also, moving back, I'd also been a competitive bodybuilder, which you might see some of the pictures. Yep. So I came fourth in one of the local national competitions and was told by one or two better bodybuilders that I'd got everything. I just needed to get quite a bit bigger. Yep. So they were talking about steroids. I didn't want to do steroids. I was more health conscious. Yep. So I never went down that field, but I did have this sort of model sort of look and looked in great shape as long as the diet was good. So after about second or third visit to Gold's Gym, I then told that World Gym's across the corner, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger's gym, right? So the two are literally 100 yards apart. So
big competition with each
massive
other,
competition, but also where do you go? So I used to have a bit of fun. I'd go to Gold's Gym one day and watch the next day. Half of me, I think, to see who I could find in there, see celebrity. Those days, you weren't sending postcards or anything. Nobody knew what was happening to you. Internet. So your diary was your diary. Would you remember all this stuff? Well, you can remember these sort of things, aren't you? So one day I'm standing there and this guy comes up and he became known as Christopher. Hello, he says, you're a limey, you are. You're a limey, meaning that the old World War One. So I'm like, God, this guy's about 19 calling me a limey. I said, you mean I'm British? No, you're English, aren't you? Where are you from? So I said, well, London, I suppose. And he said, well, that is England, isn't it? Yes. He said, you'll love it here. He said, we'll give you a job. Do you want a job as a personal trainer?
Just like that.
Just like that. And would you believe I said no to start with? And the reason I said no is because I was more bothered about me and the way I was looking. And I was there to train and keep in shape.
Right, okay.
But I thought, well, if I can get $60 to $100 an hour, then I'm interested now, aren't I? So I became a friend with Christopher. And then one day he said to me, my uncle would like you, he would really like you. He brought the whole family over. And I said, oh, fantastic, Christopher, And would you like to meet my uncle, Ian? I said, yes. And he said, what's your full name? Well, my stage name was Ian Harley Davidson. No Harley. That's the Hollywood bit. I added in.
I like it.
So they all liked Harley, of course. So here's Harley now. So, of course, they shout Harley, and I didn't know who they were talking to. So back to the story. I'm training a particular day, and it was a busy day, and there were a few celebrities in there. Cindy Crawford, and Kim Basinger, I remember, and Mickey Rourke was in there, and all of a sudden, Christopher shouts over, Harley. He says, my uncle's here. He would like to meet you. So I said, oh, fantastic. Yes, I said, I'll meet him in a minute. He says, and also we've got you another client that would like you to train them. So I feel this weight of shoulder on somebody's elbow propping up against me like this. And not looking round at the guy. And of course, as I turned round and I said, your uncle, Christopher, who'd now become a friend, was there on the desk. He said, it's Arnold. And I said, Arnold who? And of course, as I turned, the man's there himself. He went, Schwarzenegger.
Oh, wow.
Pleased to meet you. So Christopher, you see. So I'm like, my God. So I can't say anything for the next 5 minutes. And as I turn around, it's Billy Idol with his arm on my shoulder and said, you're the new personal trainer, Harley. Yeah, she said, would you like to train me? And I said, not really, because I didn't know what I was saying. I was starstruck.
I was going to say, were you not taken aback, completely out of breath?
Yeah,
like,
so,
yeah,
I mean,
imagine.
you are, and half of you's thinking, nobody's going to believe this story.
Yeah.
So Billy's quite a good character, very confident.
Yeah.
And all I could keep singing was White Wedding, came in my head.
Yep.
And when I meet celebrities and they're the singers, I always think of their songs. I don't know about you.
As well as that, he's a countryman.
Yeah.
So,
So he said, he liked the fact I was English. Would you like to be my personal trainer? So I turned to him and said, well, I can't do it at the moment. God knows why I said that, because can you imagine the money I could have made there? And he says, well, what do you think to me, Harley? What do you think to me? So I'm thinking again, just answer that question. So 3 things came to my mind. I said, well, you're very blonde. And he smiled. I said, you're a bit pale.
Yeah.
I said, you're really good at your job, aren't you? He says, I like you. I want you to be my personal trainer. So that was fine. And
how long did the LA scene last for? How long were you in?
It lasted a while. And I was eventually asked to try and, through me looking for work, to go into the movies. And I met a lady in Vegas who saw me walking, would you believe, from the swimming pool to the bar. Uh-huh. And she eventually came over to speak to me, and she said, hello, I've been watching you for a day or two in the beach area, which fair enough. And she said, I'd like you to audition for a chat show host in Vegas. She said, I've got a great idea of, I've heard your language. I can hear the accent. I love it. Where are you from? I said, I'm from Derbyshire. Yeah, it's really nice. Doesn't sound like a Londoner. I said, well, not quite. She was a Mexican lady and she owned her own station out there. Anyway, she offered me the job. I passed it, but I got nervous. I thought to myself, I know nothing about American culture. Yeah. I know nothing about that really. Uh-huh. So would you believe I just said no? And when I told friends back in England who are in TV working celebrity status here, that story, they would say to me, well, why didn't you do it? So when I told them, they said, Ian, you're a fool because you would have led the interview. You would have been the one in charge. So now I'm here in Dubai with the podcast.
Yeah, I know. Do you ever reflect back on that time and think,
yes, my second life.
Yeah. But even at that, if you'd have done things slightly differently, like for example, if you'd have taken that opportunity or you'd have stayed in Gold
Do you know
Gym,
what would have happened, Andy? I don't think I'd have spent as much time as you have to spend at being good at property.
Yeah, because what happens is your focus shifts. You seem to me to be the person that when your focus shifts, you're very concentrated on it. So if you hadn't made that change to move on to that side of things, then obviously it would have been a very different life.
Do you know what?
But it must still play in your head sometimes, what if I stayed
if you get down, we all get down as individuals and think, what if? And wasn't there a film once about sliding doors?
That's
where
right,
people went through one door or nothing else, or revolving.
I think it was called Sliding Doors, actually.
Sliding Doors, great movie. That was my life, really. I think some people would have stayed as a personal trainer, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Some people
especially at that level, with all that,
and
those
the
people
way I
around
looked
you.
in those years, you would have been friends with all the stars, but is that what I needed? Clearly not. So again, you move on to different things. But I mean, from LA, there's a reason I came back to London, and I was told again by a beautiful girl that was running one of the managerial agencies. She looked after Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. And I'm sitting in front of her, and there was only 2 guys in the line and about 15 beautiful girls that were going for film work. Yeah. And I was told that I wasn't over 6 foot, so I wouldn't make catwalks. I was too muscular, but I'd be great for TV and the movies. But I told them I couldn't act.
Yeah.
So, of course, they said to me, well, the guy that was in Back to the Future, I've forgotten his name for the moment.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. But he apparently couldn't act, and he was taught to act. So when somebody likes you, Andy, they will work with you to make you successful.
To get you to where you need
like
to
the people in Dubai here.
Yeah.
If they know you've got an energy, they will say to you, we like this guy, let's work with him, a bit like yourself. So after the interview, she said to me, well, I want you in the movies. And she gave me a great compliment. She said, side profile in those days, I was one of the strongest in Hollywood, but we needed to move, and we had needed to move fast, and I needed to get credentials from England. Would you believe they talked about Pinewood Studios and the BBC and all those things in those days? But I needed a reference, and I'd got none really. But I did have a friend who I won't mention his name, is no longer a friend, who would not help. So what do? I fly back to England with not much money to get the green card set up and to the referral to go back, going to the movies.
Right, okay.
I hit London, and then I had £1,000 left in the bank. You know, at that age, money means nothing if you're having a great time. You're a millionaire anyway.
100%.
You know, I had to go out on the next flight for 300 quid and then start again. That was the plan. But no, it didn't happen that way. So what did happen? Well, I saw mum and dad, and mum said to me one thing which stayed with me for all of my life: go back, son, to what earns you money. You've got 2 degrees in property, go back into property. So I go down into the London Underground in the famous Leicester Square. I now live in Trafalgar Square, right next to it. And I decided to make some business cards, some printed business cards from scratch. My name on. Took them around the West End, took them into Edgware Road, and went to see people. They were, you know what London's like. They're from all nationalities themselves. They could see my enthusiasm. I think I'd gone blonde hair as well at the time, which went down quite interesting in the Arab community in Edgware Road. Who's this? We're speaking English as well in London, you know. But anyway, I got my first job.
So did you feel that chapter in your life of LA then had finished?
Yes.
So you were ready to move on?
Yes. And I think people say, what did I get from it? Personality evolution. Sales ability.
Explain that a wee bit more. Personality evolution.
So when you're not a star, but people think you're a star, it gives you this inbuilt confidence, I think. So although you're not there to be shot at, as a lot of these celebrities do in the downfall of drugs, rock and roll, I was below that level. And although I'd not got the money to keep going, I decided that it was a great experience, and I thank the Lord for it. But to me, it was time to move to other ventures. So that's what happened.
That makes sense.
But a challenging time. I mean, when I got back to London again, I was starting from scratch.
You seem to have this habit of almost reinventing yourself. Time and time again. Is that the way you feel about it?
Yeah, and I think I've been told that I've got, some people say, a bit of a double aura or a higher energy field. And I think what it is I've often found that when diversity hits, it brings the best out of people. And people seem to get to know you quite quickly, don't they, in conversation? If you've got a story to tell, or you're interested in them. So the London thing started with knocking on doors, basically. And as I think you know, I've now got 4,000 private clients.
I mean, that's when we were talking about that when I'd first met you, and actually we're in similar industries now as well, because I work in real estate and entrepreneur as well. And when I started talking to you, that's one thing that really struck me about the 4,000 clients.
It stands out in Dubai, doesn't it? People are not sure it's the truth.
But how did it happen? Well, was that a chap indoors situation?
No, it's based on how it works, I suppose. So when the internet came in and emails and so on, the old days you'd have a mobile phone, wouldn't you? And then I've kept the same number over the years. So the business started in the year 2000. And I've always kept the same number. But of course, emails came along. And I think the 4,000 is bigger than 4,000, but it's what the computer keeps. So I think my records go back to about 2013, 2014. Just after the London Olympics, 2012, I've got 4,000 now. And you get repetitive business as families, friends, and solicitors, accountants all try in. So all my work is personal work. And it's all passed on as well, isn't it? So I've always said that there is no better way of doing these things or having clients than that word of mouth, because you don't even need to speak to someone and they already trust you because they've been referred to you. You know, and that word of mouth is so powerful. I think you judge a book not by its cover, but you need to know some of the print in there. In other words, if you've got 2 degrees and you can prove you've got 2 degrees and you've got referrals coming in, the story has to stand on its own 2 feet.
That's interesting you said that, because my dad used to say something similar. He used to say, you can tell a book by its chapters. Yeah. He said, you can read the chapters on the second page in, and you will roughly know what the book's about. But then you find the detail of it once you read it.
I would say, and what's important from my understanding of that little story is, which chapter do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we know, the Dubai trip is going to be, I think, probably one of my last chapters. Probably it could be one of the best.
Yeah. Well, let's roll back to you getting to London. So you kicked it off by getting there, then taking your business cards.
Yeah, and my claim to fame. So it was basically to get the 4,000. That's impressive in Dubai and the Emirates at the moment. But also, I bought 7 properties in 7 years.
Right. Okay.
Nice little phrase, isn't it? 7 years, and hard graft. Worked studio flats to beautiful apartments in Trafalgar Square, where they fetch in £800 a night to rent at the moment. So the portfolio was good, and the crisis of the world, 2016 Brexit, started to hit the UK economy, world recessions, wars, problems. COVID hit, didn't it? So my mother became ill. I lost my father, so lost my dog. So things were going wrong, and I started to think, well, if I'm not careful, I'm going to start looking at 4 walls. I've got great friends still, great relationships around. They're always there, the right ones, as you know, when you want them. Yep. Probably a handful, but a lot of acquaintances. So the London people, one of the great little stories, a good friend of mine, I won't give the surname, but his name's Peter. Yep. And he was having a hard time when I was introduced to him back to the personal training days. But this is what London does for you. You meet these sort of people unless you were in London, I believe. And I was in the West End, and it turned out Peter was personal stylist for Sir Tom Jones.
Really?
And worked with all the quite a few bands in the UK period. Remember Right Said Fred? Sexy. Yeah, so Peter's still a long-term friend, good-looking guy. He was a model himself. He had a lot of stories to tell. He was recommended to me as a personal trainer because he needed help, both emotionally and physically. I got him into great shape again. And Peter, to this day, remains a good friend, and I've met Tom a few times through Peter. And again, it creates that environment of people around you. So London has a very special part in my life.
Right, okay.
Invited and members of Royal Ascot, and that is pomp and circumstance. I'm quite a royalist. Some people don't get it, but I do. Yeah. I get the carriages coming past the house. Yeah. But I got to the point where I was in Derbyshire looking after mum, family, playing golf, but I just felt it was time to move on. The energy needed to change.
So if you think about going back to when you landed in London, for example, and going back to hand out your cards, what do you think from then to the point you're talking about now drove your success?
An interesting one. The last time I was in London, I fell in love with London again, would you believe? Yeah. I mean, Dubai offers the sun. Yeah. Dubai offers challenges. Yeah. Community of people working off the same page, finding that out. Everybody's got a story to tell in Dubai, often similar stories, but different as well. But London's very handsome. We call it handsome. Paris is pretty. Yeah. London's handsome. But going down the West End with a good friend of mine, Lawrence, going to the local restaurants that we like, and Ronnie Scott's, I know the girls that run Ronnie Scott's, and a few of the top of the big nightclubs and bars. It's a great place to go. And I don't want to ever not go to London, but I see most of my time now being in Dubai.
What is it about Dubai that really brings you here, that really wants you to come in? Because you've told me that you see yourself living here a little bit more than London. But what is it that you see in it?
When you talk to people about the Dubai dream, I think we all know what the Dubai dream is. The early days of my Dubai dream was if I'd won the lottery, say, I would have lived 6 months in England, Scotland, in the sun, playing golf, fishing, and 6 months of winter in Dubai. My health now, I like to have warmer climate. My GPs and my friends in the medical profession say, Ian, you need some good weather now. It clears any depression. Never been a depressed person, but gives you a better feel about it. But of course, I thought the challenge to Dubai would be easy.
Yeah.
Why? Because I've got a story to tell and I know how to do it. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think you know that as well.
Yeah. I think Dubai is one of those places that Dubai is what you want it to be. It has this negative point from a lot of people that, it's all about influencers. It's all about money. Everybody drives about in Lamborghinis or whatever. But there's real life happens here. Everybody does come for the Dubai dream, and it doesn't matter where you come from. It could be that you're leaving your country in India for a better life to work here. That is your Dubai dream. Your Dubai dream is very different from theirs, and my Dubai dream is very different from theirs. There's real life. I go to work every day. I go to an office every other day.
The comparison I think you're coming to, I see it every day on the street. I mean, we've had a problem in Dubai recently, which we're hopefully all getting over. But in the early days, before any problems, seeing the youngsters here with their internets and looking at their Instagrams, influencers. Well, I've been there with LA. I mean, there was nowhere bigger than LA. This is, to me, chicken feed. This is not what it's all about.
It's something that you would be familiar with.
Yeah. So I was able to brush it away, recognize it. There are people that are doing that I think are doing well, whatever well means. But also, I think it could affect people emotionally, this instant success, rather than having degrees or wisdom.
Well, we come from a generation where there was no Instagram and there was no Facebook, and it was important to play
not looking into your phone all the time.
Yeah, but it was important to either be good at football or because it's something that people would say, oh, that guy's good at that. It could have been dancing, it could have been anything. I think, but here, when it comes to social media, it's got such a grip on people. Now, the smart thing here is to know how to use it. Yeah. And some people don't know how to use it, I think is the problem.
A good point. And I think one of my old phrases, which I picked up through a friend, was there are champions in life.
Yeah.
The pop stars champion, people that served an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Longevity. Tom Jones is a great example.
Yeah.
That. Footballers as well, who have been served the purpose. But I think Dubai is new.
Yeah.
Dubai has been taken over a lot by influencers that maybe won't be here for longevity. Yeah. But there are people like you and me here now that are trying to give something, I think, to this beautiful cultural mix of people. Yeah. And what I'm trying to do is basically take on board the positives, try and improve things for people. I've got a lot to give for my experience in the property industry, hence the Property Academy, the Ian Davidson Property Academy. I see that as giving something back, helping guys and girls be well prepared, be good in the field so they don't go by the wayside and end up with no money going back to the United Kingdom, or back to Australia or back to Brazil. But seeing Dubai for what it is. So I think Dubai is great. People do welcome you with open arms. But I do think you've got to have a plan, Andy.
Yeah,
I think it's important.
Yep. And what do you think about the Dubai Diaries? Ian Davidson's Dubai Diaries. What is that going to look like?
Well, I tell you what, it's morphing. I call it every day. When I'm out and about, although there aren't so many people in the marina at the moment, there are so many interesting people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a couple lined up already. Yeah. I can't wait to get onto the podcast. Yeah. I'm a bit soft with animals. And I think you're going to come with me on a live podcast, the Animal Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Just tell you a little bit about that. Through the crisis and so on, a lot of dogs have been abandoned.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, through no fault of their owners or having to flee countries or just general abuse. There are thousands and thousands of stray dogs that are being looked after, would you believe, by charity organisations. And I went to one at the weekend again because I was thinking, is it time for me to be a foster parent? I lost my dog over a year ago. And I thought, they are company. Everybody walks dogs. Apparently they're not allowed on some walkways, but everybody walks.
Everybody does it. Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah.
And I think, I used to say, if you find somebody who doesn't like a dog, well, maybe they're not for you. That's another matter, another story. But And you're letting me, because this is my landlord as well, would you look after a dog at the moment, although it's not resident. We're all strays, aren't we?
We are.
But so the idea is to go and look at that, the people that's doing it, the type of people that's doing it, the great stories that people have of forging relationships, helping one another out. So I'm hoping to do some charity work.
Yep. Okay.
And that's one of them. The next podcast will be that. And I think it'll bring a few tears into the arena. Maybe I'll adopt a dog.
Yeah, that would be an interesting journey.
And then I've got a very interesting one, a friend of mine, totally different, but he's a successful guy. I knew him when he was 19. He's now 50 years old. He won't like me to say that, but he is the owner of the Academy of Freelance Makeup.
Oh, wow.
He's got a business in Paris, London, and Dubai.
Okay.
And he's a friend who said to me, you should come to Dubai. Don't give up in life now. This is the next episode. Yeah. So he's going to feature in one of them, how he did it, from rags to riches sort of story. Yeah. And interesting people along the way. Maybe I'll get you and do a reverse sometime.
I get to sit on the cream chair, do I? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's super exciting. I think that it's really interesting in your life. In fact, some of the things, even though we've spoke about a few things over a drink, there's some things that you caught me out there on. It's really interesting. I think that one of the things that's important about these types of podcasts for me, and like I've done podcasts in the past, is about being genuine about it, about hearing your life and about hearing other people's lives. Because for me, I love a good story like you.
Yes.
And I think that the Dubai Diaries is going to turn into like a really good storytelling podcast.
Yes. And they won't always go the way you expect them to go. Twists and turns are often what makes a good story.
That's the best ones.
Let's hope we have a few to tell.
Yeah, okay. So I guess next time we'll be having you on this seat and you'll be interviewing someone else. We really look forward to doing the animal sanctuary. I think that's going to be a good one as well.
Me too.
Yep. And what we'll do is, I guess, we'll keep the listeners and the viewers posted on the timelines and when that's going to happen. When are you thinking? How often are you thinking of doing these?
I think probably every 2 weeks or maybe once a month.
Okay.
You might tell me the demand's greater. We'll see what the internet tells us. Okay. We're going to be launching on YouTube, Instagram, various other things. So see how things go. And the more interesting people, we may have some nice people coming over from the UK to have a chat as well about their lives.
Very good.
I've got 1 or 2 penciled in, but we'll leave that under wraps.
That'll be the surprise as well. I love that. I love that.
They might want a glass of champagne or a beer, of course.
It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, is it?
No. we could try. I don't know if you'd be interested.
We could try to get him over. I know, absolutely. Okay, so I think that's us for now. And we look forward to having the next one.
Thanks, Andy.
To all our listeners, thank you very much for listening, and tune in for the next episode of the Dubai Diaries.
Thank you, Andy.